recent poll said that 7 out of every 10 Americans believe that the war in Iraq is the main reason for our failing economy. Indeed, the government spending money it doesn't have to fight a war that may never end. But government spending is not what the American economy is based on. The economy is based on the spending, investing, and saving of the people that are in it. So we as citizens are spending money we don't have to buy things we don't need. And the number one thing Americans have recently purchased that they couldn't afford is their home. And that is why so many Americans are losing their place to live. In the last 5 years or so, customers who purchased interest-only balloon loans or variable rate mortgages has risen dramatically. And most often, it's a variable rate mortgage. And that's the example I'm going to give you. The banks start with a low teaser rate, such as 4.9%. And then after a fixed period of time, like 3 or 5 years, it can move up to something like 12, 15, or 18%. But in my example, we're going to use 12. Now, in this example, we're going to base it on a $200,000 home loan, which is approximately the average price of an American home today. Now, with the 4.9% interest rate, your original mortgage payment is approximately $1,000. But after that time goes up, in the example that I've given you, where it rises to 12%, your payment doubles to $2,000. And a lot of families have found themselves not being able to afford this. So what should be done about it? Well, let me tell you what shouldn't be done first. If Americans are so worried about government spending, then the last thing that we want to do is let our government spend more money than necessary to fix this problem. So the people that we should not help are speculation investors who have purchased multiple houses for profits. Now, these people have assumed the risk of buying these houses when they bought them, and just because the economy failed doesn't mean they should be bailed out of their risk. Also, we should not help people who made bad choices. The people who bought these homes at these teaser rates that they knew they couldn't afford once the interest rate was to go up. We should not help at-fault lenders who have taken advantage of customers who have told them they could afford a home that they really could not. And we should not definitely help lenders who are unwilling to help themselves get out of this crisis. So, the first thing that should be done right now is the government should regulate the lending market more than it does. Right now, there is almost no rules in our lending market. And the homes that have already been foreclosed on, we can no longer help. So we need to create laws to help people in the future. So the first law is that HUD has proposed a standard 4-page estimate for all home loans. This would make everything easier to understand, and this is according to American Banking Magazine. The next thing that should be done is there should be a mortgage education class required for borrowers to attend before they are allowed to purchase a mortgage. And also the government should, and that would be paid for in the cost of their closing. And then the next thing, the government should put a maximum interest rate allowed to charge for home loans. It should be something that still gives banks incentives to lend to risky customers, but not something that will let them take advantage of people. Something like 10%. And if the bank feels the risk isn't adequate for 10%, then they should not lend to that customer. And the next are short-term fixes that help people stay in their current home. CNN has also said that 20,000 new foreclosures happen every single month. So lenders and borrowers need to get creative and start helping themselves find a way for homeowners to stay in their home. Right now, costs exceed approximately $40,000 to foreclose on a home, and that includes managing and reselling the property. And as well as home prices are falling 8.9% since last year. So it's not in anyone's best interest to kick homeowners out of their homes. Also, the following ideas are very low risk for the banks because they're looking at re-owning these houses anyway. So the first thing that should happen is the tenant in common relationship, where the bank redrafts the loan so that the bank owns half the house and the homeowner is responsible for the other half of the mortgage. This makes it more affordable for the homeowner to stay in their home, and the bank's incentive is that they get to list the entire house as an asset on their tally sheet, as well as they are collecting at least some money for the property rather than none. Now, this can be done until the home can be sold, or it can be done until it's financially adequate for the homeowner to refinance to buy the whole house back. The next thing that should be done is the sale leaseback. where the bank buys back the entire home and then leases it back to the homeowner like they're a renter with an option to buy. This will work the same way. It gives the bank so they can list it as an asset, as well as they're making money off of the home, and they can sell it when they can sell it, or the homeowner can refinance when that's affordable. So when is it okay for the government to step in? Well, a lot of people are losing their home because they lost their job in a NAFTA or CAFTA deal where a company has moved overseas for cheaper tax breaks and cheap labor. So in these situations, the government should help people redraft their loans to a more affordable price to keep them in it, because the government is ultimately at fault for the reason why they can't afford their house. Next, lenders that took advantage of customers. In these situations, the lender should default the entire mortgage to the homeowner because they took advantage. Also, the government needs to investigate these lenders and fine them or shut them down as necessary. In conclusion, Americans are already worried about government spending. So why is the government going to propose more money to bail out people and lenders who've made bad decisions? Rather than spending more money that we do not have, we should use this current time as a learning experience. The government needs to regulate the lending market more and give them more rules to operate by. Lenders and in-trouble homeowners need to own up to their own mistakes and get creative in solving this problem. We live in a world of trial and error, and when something is proven not to work, we should not just give up on it. We should make it work better. Let's see, it is not the government's responsibility to fix every problem that Americans create. Let's let them do their job and reform laws to our current society's needs, and let the society, including our economy, work on its own. The mortgage crisis will not go away overnight, but if we handle this correctly, we can emerge a stronger economy.